about being committed and commitment. How committed are you? Why or why not? You want to talk about it? Let's go.
Hey, what's up, my peeps?
Hey, everybody.
So good to see you again. Hey, we're here with T1 in the building.
Yeah.
Thomas's 3D Financial. Y'all show them some love. Hey, so look, you know you can catch us. You can see us at the Marriage Tune -up. Again, I'm going to say it, the Marriage Tune -up. So please like, subscribe, share on YouTube, the Gram, Facebook. Hey, we want to see you. We want to see your comments. And guess what? Today, guys, we're talking about commitment. Commitment. It's going to get kind of crazy.
Yeah. Y'all ready?
So babe, where you want to go with? Come on, lead the show.
Okay, well, yeah, so like he said, like Aaron said, we're talking about commitment. But first of all, again, let me just welcome our guests, Brian and Willa Thomas of 3D Financial. We want to thank you guys for coming to our platform again. And thank you guys for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're just going to have a real conversation about commitment. You know, Will and I were talking a couple of days ago about just being committed. You know, we've both been married. I think Will and Brian been married 30 years. Aaron and I've been married 22 years. Yeah. And it takes commitment to be able to be married, to stay married. So we were talking about that word commitment. So we decided to just talk about it. Come to you guys and talk about it, and and have you guys just kind of bend the ear and let's see what we could do with this topic on commitment.
Babe,
so
you want to give them like a reason or really what commitment means to us, or a definition or anything?
Well, let me give
like
you a definition first, but then what I believe that Webster says that that commitment is a noun and it is a state or quality of being dedicated to a cause.
Webster.
So the way I cooperize that, the way I interpret that is like everything in. Nipsey Hussle has this thing that he says, all money in. Right. Well, and a song called Dedication. So you're totally dedicated. You're all in on this one thing. You're totally committed. So that's what I believe commitment means. What do you think?
No, I'd have to agree with you there. It means just that, I'm all in. I'm not leaving any type of safety net. I'm cutting all those cords, and I'm running with you forever in marriage.
Okay.
On everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Okay. What do you guys think? You guys agree with that statement?
I do. For me, commitment in regards to marriage is there's no windows and there's no doors.
Okay.
We stuck in this piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We stuck?
It's a good stuff.
Stuck in this piece.
Okay, we stuck up in this piece. Okay.
The way I see it, it's kind of a two-way street there, because I've been committed since day one. But what was I truly committed to?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was committed to not being committed.
Okay.
I mean,
That's a commitment for
I'm
yourself.
speaking about the old me.
Yeah.
Right.
And it took some
22
time.
you, 25-year-old
It
you.
took some time to truly learn what commitment meant.
Right.
Because
Definitely.
I was committed to
Everything. But the right thing.
But the right thing.
Me too. I have to say that there.
Okay.
Get ahead of ourselves.
Okay. Well, here's something else that it says. In doing my research, I mean, I love doing research and coming up with these topics and coming and talking to you guys and just, seeing what you guys think too. So, audience, I really want you guys to participate this time. You guys, throw us some questions or whatever. Let us know. Let us know if you guys, if you guys are feeling what we're saying or, what you think about it. We definitely want you guys to be involved in what we're talking about here today. So today, let me throw something. So I'm just kind of going to be throwing some things out there for you guys, and I want you guys to kind of like, hey, agree, disagree, elaborate, hey, whatever. So the first thing is, do you agree with this? A commitment is being willing to do whatever it takes to make the marriage work. And that means there's no going, there are going to be many times when you just don't get your way. So again, let me read that. A commitment is being willing to do whatever it takes to make the marriage work. And that means there are going to be many times where you're not going to get your way. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
Come on, we'll let you go first.
I agree with that statement. It's not easily digested. It sounds, that's the textbook
Right.
you know,
Because who
thing
doesn't
to
want to
say.
get their way?
It's not easily done, but it sounds good.
Sounds good.
It sounds good. Yeah.
So to be commitment, you'll do whatever it takes.
So
to
that
be
whatever
committed
is
to the marriage.
really wide open.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do more now. I would say as I've gotten older. No, maybe I have to take that back. It's hard for me to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it just leaves the window open to whatever it takes. And
Right.
I want to say yes, but there could be some foolish stuff going on that I might be
So
like,
you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
Until you're in that
experience.
I
situation.
go into it eyes wide open saying yes, because I'm expecting that the person that I'm married to won't be, the
Go down that road.
crazies, right? That it shouldn't be too much of whatever it takes.
So here's the thing. Here's a question. I just came to me right now. So on the day that you got married, and when you stood before the God and all the
Yes.
witnesses and said, you were saying whatever it takes. You were standing there before God and saying whatever it takes. So that was 30 years ago.
30 years
so
ago.
you're saying now that 30 years that you don't know that it's whatever it takes because
30 years ago, I was like, whatever it takes. I was in it to win it. And then some
All in you-
foolish
you
stuff.
was
Like
committed.
he tested me. He
Yeah,
tried it.
we do that, don't we?
Trying to see if I know the Lord. So
okay. You trying to see?
he trying to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if we're talking about the then and now, and I love the way we do that. I think I was a boy trapped in a man's body, because I would kick and scream because when I wanted my way, and if I didn't have my way, I would kick and scream some more until I got my way. Not realizing that it really is not the way to be. It took me getting a little bit of God in me. Well, let's be honest, a whole bunch of God in me.
Yes,
in order to realize but if we're talking about commitment, then like you said, you're trusting your partner not to take you down that road.
Right.
But if my thoughts now was, man, I took Kay down that road, and she still was committed to me. You know what I'm saying? So if the tables were turned, it would hurt, but I'd have to swallow that horse pill as well. On there, don't do nothing, man.
Hey man,
Don't do nothing.
I'm gonna see what I can see.
Don't
I'm
do
gonna see what I'm gonna try not to.
And on that vein, I know you and Brian often talk about not having the touchstones of having a marriage demonstrated in front of you. And even though Kay and I did, we still didn't know what it took to really be committed. We saw them stay together,
Right.
but we didn't know the hell and the high water that was behind closed doors that it really took for our parents to stay committed to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's something else that I learned too. It's one thing to like the marriage, like the relationship, and it's another thing to maintain the relationship. So I could I like being married. Some people say I like being married. Other people like I'm just maintaining in the marriage. There's a difference. So speak to that. Do you agree with that statement? Liking it versus maintaining it.
Well, I think we often say as we're doing our studies. Remember, you got this type of mentality when it comes. So we're in love right here, and we're out of love right here. We're pissed off at each other. Well, we got the hole until we get back to right here. And I think those are those times where we like versus love, or say, look, I don't like you right now, but I love you. Those type of comments are made where I think we have to hold no matter what, because and you're going to go into it, about the safety locks.
Right.
I'm done trying to pick them myself. Or hit him with the sledgehammer. So I agree with it. There's going to be times where you like me and don't love me, and you love me and don't like me. But we've got to still hold through those storms until we get back to where we're in sync.
Okay. Okay.
And we can take it up to 98 degrees.
Okay, so first tune-up question of the day is, what steps are you taking, this is for everybody to answer, and even the audience as well, what steps are you taking to show commitment to making your marriage work? What steps are you currently taking to make sure that your marriage works?
Okay. Well, who wants to handle it first?
Who wants to go first?
B-boy?
Let's go with you, babe.
Yeah.
What steps?
You know, I would say, you know, it's tough that the word commitment. I am so in love with being married, but Coop just spoke about those ebbs and flows, and I don't know if that's just because the flow I'm in right now that I love it, and in a week, you know, it'll be the opposite. So
Tomorrow.
It might be.
I would say I'm willing to do whatever is possible to make sure that my commitment, my love, and that my wife always smiles at me. That's very important to me.
Amen.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
What steps are you taking to make sure that your marriage works?
You know, I think I think back in the day, you know, with the world, I trained myself on acting a fool, and I think I trained myself very well at it. Well, once I got married, I realized, man, I really don't have the training that I'm supposed to have. You know, like Willa was saying, I don't have any reference points. I don't really see marriage until I actually got with you.
Really?
You know, that type thing. Yeah, yeah. So, you got
Like, ouch.
So I had to retrain myself. So now in that training comes more communication, comes sacrifice, comes physical touch, and not just sex. You know what I'm saying? The holding of hands, the hugging. Comes calling and checking on you when I really just want to play golf or chess. No, let me put that down for a minute and call you and see how you're doing. So it takes a lot, but I think in doing that, that gives you confidence and trust that, okay, my man's not going to do anything stupid anymore, so I can give him 99.8% of me. I'm working on that other point too, y'all.
Yeah.
And vice versa. That gives me confidence to say, dude, okay, I see she's committed. I've got to be committed as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I answer that question, I would say, what steps am I taking to make sure that my marriage, to show commitment to my marriage? I think that the steps that the main step that I'm taking is to love Christ.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the main step that I'm taking to ensure commitment in my marriage. Because I feel like if I'm committed to Christ, if I'm committed to growing in Christ, if I'm committed to having a relationship with Christ, then again, everything else
Fall into
Right.
place.
is going to be cool.
Yeah.
So therefore, I think that I know that the steps, well, it's not really steps, the step that I'm taking towards maintaining or making sure that I'm committed and my marriage work is to love Christ.
Yeah. Do everything as unto the Lord.
Okay.
And if you're
Colossians
doing that,
3:23.
if you're doing that, then that means I'm in the mix of that too, and it's
Right.
going to be a
You reap the
beautiful thing.
benefit of it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
reap the benefit
yeah, I
of
do.
it. Yes.
I do.
Yeah, like my, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. What you think?
I'd say for me, one of the main things I can do to stay committed is to stay present. Because
a
a lot
good
of
one.
times you can be in a marriage just because you're in the marriage
Yeah.
and not really in the marriage.
Right.
So I try
stay-
to, but they already gone.
They
They
already
are
gone?
left. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure that I'm present. I'm hopeful that I, as much as I should, acknowledge the efforts that he makes to make him want to remain committed. Because there's something about him doing the things that he does, and I'm like, you're supposed to do that.
Right.
So I want to make sure that I show appreciation for the things that he does, as well as remain present in the marriage, which means spending that quality time with each other.
Yeah.
Even though we're not empty nesters, the kids still in the nest. They're grown, but they still at the house. But
chilling.
it gives us the freedom to go out and do things and to spend time with each other and make sure that we're appreciating one another. As we
Right.
become older, we don't know what the years are going to bring. We're
Right.
still both in a healthy state that we can actually enjoy one another, not just looking at each other, but actually physically do things. I think
Physically,
Stop playing.
I
That's
think
another
all
podcast.
those things are
Toast to
important.
that.
That's another episode. Yeah. Just kidding. All right. So
Yes.
you good? So
I'm
be-
good.
Staying
Yes.
present.
Staying present.
Okay. Okay. So if we talk about just downright everything all in, whatever it takes, for better or for worse, for better or for worse, in everything, good times and bad times. So if a couple is truly, truly committed, can a couple, so do you think that for better or for worse, that a couple should be able to get through infidelity? You
Yes.
think that a couple should, I mean, if they're truly, truly committed, should a couple be able to get through infidelity?
Well, here's the thing. I think B mentioned it earlier that sometimes we're committed, but we're not committed. I think that's a great example right there, because if we were committed, then the infidelity wouldn't have happened from the get go,
Right.
from the jump, from the giddy up.
Right.
But it did. Now it's what Will is talking about. Okay, now the rubber done hit the road.
Okay.
Okay, what do I do now? And I think there has to be some type of changing. It should be a 180, not a 360.
Right.
Of, look, babe, I was wrong. You know, one, I repent to God, and now I return. But also I return to my wife, or my wife returns to me and says, look, dude, we're going to make it through this. We'll make it through with counseling. We'll make it through with some hard arguments, some tough discussions, some crying, some blood, some sweat, some tears, all of that stuff. But in the long run, if we hold,
Right.
I think God blesses something like that, because he says, look, above all, you know I don't like divorce, and you stayed in the midst of it. I'm going to bless you just because.
Okay.
I don't think that it's impossible to have a healthy, thriving marriage after infidelity.
Right. I don't either.
I do love what Aaron says, repent, turn. But I think not only do you have to turn, you also have to learn. So
okay.
that's something that I like to put behind that. Because, okay, I'm not doing it anymore, but what are you doing now?
Right.
So learn from what you did and make it better by doing other things.
Like pouring into her. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
agree.
So learn from that mistake and do better.
Yeah.
So don't just, I'm not doing it no more. We passed that.
Get over it.
Now what?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, here's a real. This is tune-up question number 2.
Okay.
What does for better or for worse mean to you? What does, it's a 2-parter, what does for better or for worse mean to you? Can you stay committed through the worst of times?
Who wants to take it?
Can you, so yeah, that's an audience question as well.
I would say, for better or for worse,
What does that mean to you?
to me, I like to look at it as for better or for better.
Okay.
And not throw the worst in there, because even though it will be some difficult times, I don't want to think about their coming, and just be willing to deal with whatever the worst is. I definitely would say that I'm in this for better or for worse. And we've been through some for worse, and we've been through a whole lot of for betters. And you just have to be willing. I think a lot of people get divorced sometimes because of a small for worse, and they get divorced because it's like an easy bailout. You know, you pull the cord and you fly backwards and
Yep.
you get out. Where we could have both probably pulled that cord for something
Right.
very little, but for whatever reason we decided for better or for worse. So I would definitely. What was the second part of that question?
Can you stay committed through, and yeah, you already answered it.
Yeah.
Can you stay committed through the worst of times?
I would say you definitely can.
And I would hope that people would, just because you're physically there, you have to actually be there. So just because you say, I'm still committed, I'm still here through better or for worse, if you're not really here, then you really not here. So
Right.
you really don't even have a marriage. So I'm definitely here for better or for worse, and I pray that the for worse are not what the for worse looked like in the past. So, yeah.
Yeah, that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The day that I got married, I didn't even hear the part that it said for better or for worse. I mean, I just heard for better.
Way to be honest.
I didn't hear for worse. But we went through 8 and 3/4 years of for worse.
Yeah, real talk.
So, but yeah. So I just,
How would you say your marriage was, not your marriage, your relationship was prior to getting married? Were there already things that were?
girl, yeah.
So,
It's me and Aaron.
Yeah, all the signs was
It was me, yeah, like, don't marry, like, you know, on that movie, Family Reunion, don't do it, she got 2 kids. You know, it was like that for us, like, don't do it, like, the signs were there, like,
yes,
don't get married.
It amazes me that when the signs are there, and they're not even signs, he like telling you, I ain't changing.
Yeah.
That do we think that because we get married that, okay, now it's going to change?
We do. I'm serious. I know I did, because I'm trying to tell you.
I'm going to be his wife now, so of course he's going to be better.
All of a sudden, he's going to be this faithful
You get what
cat
you get.
that just puts me first. No, that didn't happen.
Not at
So
all.
that why you got to smile about
No,
it?
not at
The tough thing is that the day before marriage, we had a bachelor party. We got married. We were elated. And the next day, I went back to doing the exact same things I was doing before.
Right, yep.
And that's where the problem really lied, because I truly didn't make any changes. That's definitely where the problems come from.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that it was something different that I should do when she had this imagination of what was going to happen,
Right.
an expectation.
I think we all have expectations.
I just wanted to go still hang out in the
You still
neighborhood.
have that expectation, right?
He was,
You still have the expectation that you were going to be able to get married and that you were going to be able to go out and still hang out with the fellas after you got married. You still
That
have
he
that-
was going to
we
be
all
a
have
single married guy.
single married guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
Oh, Aaron
what
was-
that's
you-
what B's
you
talking
was a
about with the
single-
commitment.
Yeah, I think you were
Because see,
single.
we want all the benefit and the rewards of it. You know, he who finds a wife finds a good thing,
Finds
and,
favor.
and obtains favor from the Lord. But I also want to keep this, Lord. You know, that type thing. So that's, I think, again, going back to what B's talking about, the commitment without the commitment. You know.
Right.
Okay, cool. I think Jay-Z had the song Song Cry. He said, "Yeah, I was just hitting them girls. I was gonna get right back." You know what I'm saying?
I can't stand you
Just-
right now.
just
I
being-
really
just being real. Just being
You
real.
don't do a dude
You
like
know,
that.
yeah, you know that type thing. So it's like, okay, cool. I can do everything I want over here, but I'm here. This will be here, and I'll always come back. This will be my anchor, but I'm gonna go off and act a fool, and it can't be that way, because God is like, dude, I'm gonna get at you, in a real way. Ooh.
So I have a question and an answer. I have a question and an answer.
Okay.
How do you remain committed when it's difficult?
Yeah. What do y'all think? What do y'all think?
What do
do y'all
guys
think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you remain committed when it's difficult in a marriage? And I have an answer for you too.
Okay.
but-
Okay. You want ours first?
Yeah. Let me have
Okay.
yours
Come
first.
on.
How do you
What
remain
do you,
difficult?
let's see what Will and B say.
Well, sometimes the commitment is not to the marriage when you're in the marriage and you want to leave. The commitment is, I ain't got nowhere to go.
Okay.
The commitment
I'm not
is,
laughing, but I'm
I'll be
laughing.
doggone if I'm leaving. This sucker gonna make this sucker happy.
Right.
The commitment is, I have these kids. What I'm gonna do?
Right.
Yeah.
We talk
Commitment
about
is,
that too. We talk about that.
I can't afford to leave. So the commitment may not be, I'm committed. I'm staying because I'm so committed to this marriage. It's like the alternative doesn't beat staying.
Yeah.
And you pray that the day will come that it's not what it is currently, that it will get better. But in order to do that, both parties have to be present in order to make that happen.
Correct.
You definitely can't do it on your own.
Correct.
Love it.
You agree?
What was the question?
How do you stay when it's difficult? Or wait, what was that?
Yeah. In bad times. Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
How do you remain committed when it's difficult?
When it's difficult, all along I felt that I would be married forever. And when it's difficult, you know, we had young kids, and I just didn't want to do what my father did to me, and I really stuck it out. And it was really, even if it was for the kids or because we owned a home and it was too easy, I mean, we got papers and split everything up. I want this car. I want that car.
Right.
I want this stereo. I want that.
Yep. Not
I
the
want,
stereo.
I want,
Not the stereo.
Hey man, it was ours. Yeah.
And the cassette.
Yeah. That's my
Panasonic.
CD.
That's Panasonic.
It's paid for.
I want this house. I want that house. And it's crazy that you'll sit down and split everything up and then go to bed.
Just wasted all that damn
Right.
energy.
We do that too. We do that too.
So
several times.
we I don't know what we were committed to, but in the difficult times, we said things or acted like we wanted to not be together. But God made us to be together.
Right.
Yeah. Love it.
I believe that.
And this one here is gonna bury me.
Huh. Or vice versa, huh?
No.
Oh, he's going first. Really? He's going first,
Hey
huh?
man,
Yeah,
I ain't
I feel
gonna
you.
take that from him.
I feel you on
Okay,
that.
well, the answer is find ways to compromise or at least have the conversation that allows you and your partner to see things eye to eye.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that because not everything has to be resolved, but at least you can have the hard conversation to say, this is where I'm coming from, and this is where
Right.
I'm,
Right.
this is where I'm coming from. At least you could see, not saying that we have to agree,
Right.
but you can see.
Yeah, you may have
my
to
point
agree
and
to
I can
disagree.
see- You may have to agree to disagree.
And,
Exactly.
And again, I think it comes down to the safety locks.
Right.
He's given us certain things, God, on purpose. Okay, the house, the cars, and everybody's name, the kids. Those are safety locks. Saying, dude, don't unlock that, because if you unlock too many of them, the marriage will fall apart and dissolve. Those type things. So I think at all times, you no matter how difficult. Yeah, okay. We had the point. We had the divorce papers on the top of the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Those type things. So but it's like, ain't nobody drive the car down there to file them and pay that $500. You paying it? No, you paying it. No, you paying it. Well, I guess we ain't getting divorced then, And God's like, that's right, because that's not in my will. So don't do that, because I'm gonna hurt you if you do. Yeah.
I definitely say one critical thing in the marriage is to realize that everything will not be resolved right now.
Right.
And you may have to, even if that means sleep on the couch or whatever it is.
Looking at your bed.
But
Absolutely not.
it may not be resolved immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we resolve it, we may not agree on it.
Right.
And I think that's maybe one thing that allowed us to be married so long. I'm pretty easy, I would say, and I'll, back up and to some extent.
Submit to one another. I'm not mad at that, B.
Sacrifice.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah.
Sacrifice.
I
That's a big one.
definitely submit to mine.
Sacrifice.
And I think maturity, not just in age, but in the marriage, that it comes easier to do so. You definitely pick your
battles.
fights, your battles. Some things, our arguments are like this now. It's not,
Y'all don't lick the house?
We do not lick the house, no. And you
You
also,
don't either anymore, huh?
maturity.
Yeah, exactly.
And you also have to take in consideration sometimes what is the collateral damage that you're going to do, because not being together affects more than just the two of us.
A ripple.
It's definitely a ripple effect. So, and it's not just the people in your home. It could be the people that are looking up to you to say, hey, they've been married for 20 some odd years. I want to be like them. And then you get a divorce, like,
Devastate.
dang, well, maybe marriage ain't what I thought it was. So,
You can affect your friends' children.
so many,
Definitely.
really.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Okay. So what is a committed relationship?
I think it's us. Yeah.
Research says that a committed relationship occurs when a couple agrees upon a certain level of commitment to one another.
Yeah.
You agree or disagree with that statement? Again, let me read it. A committed relationship occurs when a couple agrees upon a certain level of commitment for one another, to one another.
They losing me at a certain level. What is that?
Whatever is different levels may be for different couples.
Are all those other couples not really committed?
I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Right.
Seems like it should be at 100%
Both of us giving 100%.
commitment.
Because I think when you start,
But whatever that level is that you and your spouse agree on, if that's agreeable that it's 100%, if it's agreeable that it's 90% or
Here's
whatever.
what I took from that when reading it and things like that. Okay, we're on the same level when we agree, hey, we're staying. Okay, we're in the house together, But I think, Willie, you touched on it earlier. We're not on the same level when we're staying, but I come home and I just look at the paper. And then I go to bed. And then I go to work. And I come home. And I look at the paper. And I go to bed. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, you're committed, but your level of commitment ain't the level of commitment that mine is.
Right.
I'm here. I'm waiting for you to talk to me. I'm waiting for you to bring me home some flowers. I'm waiting for you to take me out on a walk, just to the park.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not happening. And slowly but surely, I see you trying to unlock some of the safety locks that God put on it.
Right.
That's what I took
Got
it
it.
as.
Okay.
There's been a moment in our marriage where I came home for weeks and didn't like her.
Yeah.
And
Same here.
just read the paper. It just
Same here,
did.
yeah.
And it was positive because I came home.
Right.
Because it can be an opposite to that, to where you just leave for 3 weeks.
Go
Go get the milk. Go get the milk and don't come back.
But so even if you come home and only read the paper, and you can't, we don't talk, I'm still coming home.
But B,
Is that commitment?
no, but that's what I'm saying.
That's your level of commitment.
Here you go. It's still a level of commitment, though. It's still, but the problem is, I think a lot of us guys, we sit it as, dude, I'm here, aren't I? And we'll say something like that, and I realize, no, I could do better. And I think the light has to go on, like these lights right here. The light has to go on and say, nah, I could do better. I'm tripping. This isn't the best that my marriage can be. I'm not putting in 100%. You know, that type thing. And
that was definitely a big problem in our early marriage, that I didn't have a father, and for 10, 15 years,
17.
I was here. But
How many years, Willa?
17.
I didn't really, I wanted the kudos for just being here.
right.
And that was a problem, because I was mimicking what I didn't see.
Yeah.
And you should be happy that I'm here. Nobody wants you.
And I was over here like, sucker, please. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah.
But ask somebody-
My daddy was washing cars on Sundays. My daddy did this, he's cooked dinner, Yeah, so you get no points for doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that was a bad thing. Doing what you're supposed to do is not enough. And that means just coming home and paying the bills or giving your money, and you have to do more. You have to create a relationship.
Right. I think we have to change our mindset, our paradigm, because my key words was, man, it just shouldn't be this hard.
Oh my God.
It just shouldn't. In marriage,
shouldn't be this hard.
And I think young marriages, when when they in that first couple of years, or 5 years, or 7 years, it's like, man, because you're getting to learn each other. You're trying to go from singular to plural. And it's like, dude, what? I do me. This is my money. It's all types of just messing in. And that was like, well, I might as well get in there too and help y'all act a fool. And I think my mindset, I just kept thinking negative about it, because like B, I didn't have a reference point really to say, well, here's what a good marriage looks like, and I wasn't connecting Christ and the church to me and Kay, so much. And it's like, no, I got to change my mindset. I got to speak life in my marriage instead of death. It just shouldn't be this. Well, then put on your shoes and your jacket and get your shovel and get busy. Then, if it's hard, shovel some more. And it's not until I said, you know what, let me change my mindset. No, this can be beautiful. No, this can be wonderful. No, I can love you like Christ loved the church, and I think
you.
and only you. Real talk. And I think Charlemagne said it. He said, dude, when I started treating my wife right and really taking care of her, man, blessings and God just opened up windows and doors. And
I'm surprised you got that.
Dude. And
I was thinking the same thing.
And it's the truth. It's the truth. Man, when I started treating Kay right and Kay tried to treat me right, come on now.
Yeah.
Dude, the sky is the limit with the Lord.
We started getting blessed.
Yeah.
So let me give you 6 real quick signs of that say that you're in a committed relationship, committed marriage.
Okay, you just gonna read them all?
I'm just gonna read them all. But
Okay,
this last one, I want us to kind of.
Okay. You want to pick one? Okay, cool.
Pick one. But the first one is
For time.
Yes, for time's sake. Okay, so they portray you in a positive light.
Love it.
Number 2, they speak in we. Everything is not I. It's
my
we.
money.
It's we.
Yeah.
Our
Okay.
money. It's right.
Yeah.
Number 3, they meet your needs and vice versa.
Love it.
They meet their needs.
Sacrifice.
Number 4, they are highly satisfied. A person's satisfied in marriage, they're committed. Number 5, they don't pay attention to others. I often say that all like my friends, my concentric circles, I don't really see their husbands. They don't really have faces to me because I don't have eyes for any other man but you.
Amen.
So they don't see anyone else but their spouse. The last one is the one I want to kind of talk about a little bit.
Hey, babe, before you get to that
Sure.
one, you mentioned that one right there. I like it too, and we said this before. Hey, if a man is doing everything that he can, then there is no other man for her,
Right.
for y'all, and vice versa.
What you mean see him? Like,
I don't like you don't see like I mean there's still some
because I'm still human.
Yeah,
right there's still some
So
nice
you-
like that
yeah,
Morris
but
Chestnut.
and that's why I don't
Michael
think
B.
us
Jordan.
brothers are, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't going nowhere because I see my man doing everything he can.
But I'm talking about, those are movie stars.
Right.
But I'm talking about the man on the street. The man on the street or whatever. I mean, he may be a nice looking cat or whatever, but I really don't see him. I really don't see men because.
I see men.
You see them?
I see them.
What they look like?
They look like men. Sometimes they are easy on the eye.
They're easy on the eyeball?
But because I'm committed and
There
I'm
you
happily
go.
married,
There you
I
go.
keep it pushing. I can
Right.
have a conversation. Hey, how you doing? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Why you
cooking.
got
I'm
this
cooking
purse?
for
Oh,
dinner.
thank
I'm
you.
cooking dinner for me and my husband. Yes.
That's right.
You cooking dinner?
Sunday.
Stop playing.
Yeah. So yes, hush up.
You did.
So yes,
You
but
did.
you make sure that
just
I'm married. You keep it pushing.
you go.
But I still see men.
You see them?
You know how people say I see dead people?
Yeah.
I see men.
And let me be real. Hey, vice versa. I have to agree with her, dude.
You see beautiful women?
I think women are the most beautiful work of art that God has ever made. I do. But I like them
Look how I'm
too.
looking really.
No,
You
I
see
do.
him?
I
You
do.
see him?
Yeah, come on now. If I can't be real with you,
Be real, man.
But,
Be
but,
real.
But here's the thing, though. I do liken them to an alarm. And being our James, we've talked about that. Dude, you can look at the alarm. It's pretty. It's beautiful. It's red and white.
Is it?
But don't you pull it. Don't you pull that alarm. Don't do it, cool. It's going to sound and police are coming. you know those type of things. So therefore, I the word says, dude, focus on your own breast and.
Oh my God.
I love
That's
that.
what
I
it
love
say.
that word.
That's what it
I
say.
love that
I know.
word.
Song is song.
Focus on your own breast.
Really?
And your own cistern. Yeah, that type of
Drink
thing.
from your own cistern.
There you
That's
go.
right.
So that I think now it's like, dude, I can't just talk the word and not apply it. I got to rock it. Yeah.
Okay, well, the last one, number
Okay,
6
okay.
is they make sacrifices. Committed partners make sacrifices for each other and don't expect favors to be returned, at least not immediately. They have a more long-range view of things and make decisions based on what's best for the relationship, not what's best for themselves as individuals.
Like it. Yeah.
So, do you make sacrifices?
Yeah,
Do you feel like
yeah.
you make sacrifices in your marriage?
I think we have to, in order to one, show that there's commitment, and two, to keep the marriage moving forward rather than stagnant or going backwards. So yeah, sacrifice are needed. Do I agree with all of them all the time? Heck no. But I want to see a smile on your face as well, like Brian said. So it's I think it's worth it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, real quick, I want to talk about these. You kind of talked about it earlier, Willow. I want to talk about these really, really quick. Wait, can I have a time check, please?
Okay, you got
Talking?
20 minutes?
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
right on.
Okay, yeah, we're rocking. Okay, so where marriage is concerned, commitment is the decision to continue in the relationship. So I was doing this research, and it was saying that there are 3 areas where commitment. There's 3
That's how
types.
you get it.
There's 3 types of commitment.
The safety locks, as I was saying.
Again, there's 3 types of commitment, and you kind of touched on it earlier, so I want to touch on it again right now. The first one being the personal commitment, and the personal commitment is also known as "I want to." I want to. So
wanna be
if you have a high level of personal commitment to your marriage, you may find yourself saying or thinking, "I want to continue in my marriage. I take pleasure in being married. I enjoy being married to my spouse." That's the personal commitment. I want to. I want to be married to you, not just that I want to be married to you. So the next one is the moral commitment, also known as "I ought to." I ought to. Those with a high level of moral commitment might say, "I believe staying in my marriage is the right thing to do."
Come on, Lord.
Yes, I'll stick it out because my values and beliefs. I made a commitment before God,
go.
and I should keep my word.
It's good.
Definitely, for a long time, I lived in the moral commitment. I definitely lived
The
in
lock. I'm so glad that lock didn't break.
for the longest time. I lived in the I don't right now I'm personal commitment. For the longest time, I lived in moral moral commitment, and I'm gonna ask you guys which one are you guys living in right now?
Hey,
But
I was gonna say, you
let me
want
get
one
this
more?
last one.
Okay.
This last one
Yeah.
is structured commitment, also known as "I have to." If you have a high level of structural commitment, the following statements may apply to you. External constraints are keeping me in my marriage. I have to stay married. I can't afford the negative consequences of divorce on my finances, my social relationships, and the way others might perceive me. Divorce would also be detrimental to my children
Come on now, beautiful.
and friends and everybody
Yeah,
else.
yeah,
that's
kids.
around me.
Collateral
you said
damage
kids.
that we
So
talked
again,
about. Yeah.
so real quick, the personal commitment is I want to. The moral commitment is I ought to. And the structure commitment is I have to. And so for the long, I think I dabbled before, then and now. So then I dabbled with the more. I lived in the moral commitment, but it was sprinkled with the structure.
Right, but
because I got 2 kids.
There you go.
I don't.
Saved your life.
I was making like maybe $20,000 a year.
Balling now.
You know, yeah.
Get 'em,
you know, but how am I gonna make it? You know,
Right.
how am I make it? And then for the longest time after the infidelity and stuff, I was like, how's that gonna affect my kids?
Right.
How's that gonna affect my kids?
Safety
so
lock.
so definitely the structural, the structural commitment. How about that was then and now, but now I live in the personal. I want to be married to you. I
think,
enjoy being married to you.
but here's the thing. But before Brian and Willa go, it's good to have all 3 of those.
It says that.
What do you know? It's
says
good
that.
to have all 3.
It says that, definitely.
because all 3 can handle the weight. You know, better than just one. Now one can handle it, but man, it's a lot of strain on that one to where if it breaks, then the marriage is going to break. So I'll tell you, I live in all 3 of those. I want to, dude. God will beat my tail if I stopped. I ought to. And guess what, dude? I don't want my family, Cam, Keenan, Alex, and Christian, and your mom and dad, Brian and Willa, James and Terry, like,
Mama do.
Oh, Mama do. Oh my God, my heart is broke. You know, cool, just burn the house down.
See, that's me. See.
That's that what?
Understand?
That's just stuff right there.
So those are things. So, right, Jay? Come on, man, dude. So, dude, I need and want. I think everybody should want all 3 of those as high and strength and grade as possible. Brian, what y'all think?
I would totally agree with Coop that you truly need all 3 of them. Because just one of them is not going to make the marriage strong. So you definitely need all 3, and you go through different phases during the marriage.
Right.
And you may have to go to either one at any point in time. Would you agree, Mrs. Thomas?
I would, Mr. Thomas, but I would, as I found, even though you have all 3, hopefully, prayerfully, the buckets are filled up differently. And the different buckets are filled differently throughout the course of the marriage.
Okay.
So now my personal commitment has the majority of my fulfillment.
Right.
And even though the other 2 are still filled, they're not as high because the personal one is leading the way.
Right.
Love it.
Prior, younger me, younger me,
Structure. Jesus.
I ain't got nowhere to go. Mama said I can't come back with all these kids.
Right.
So I'm gonna need you to get some get right. Cause
I feel you. Way to be real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Way to
So
be real.
that bucket was real high.
Yeah.
Like if you
me
move
too.
it, it's gonna spill.
Yeah, my daddy was like, you gotta go home. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you gotta
It's
go
broke.
home.
The handle on it, bro.
You gotta go
Amen.
home. You gotta go.
Yeah.
I called myself leaving air one time, packed up. I had Kenny. Yeah, I called myself packing up and leaving. My dad was like, you can stay tonight. But little dump in the morning, you gotta go home.
But you gotta get up out of here.
Yeah, you gotta go home.
But I was waiting with open arms. Come here, baby.
Stop
I'm
lying.
sorry.
That was in the 8 3/4. That was like
I still wanted some
that was
booty.
like in the first 3 years. Stop it. We was really looting the house then.
Yeah,
So okay.
yeah, real tough.
But yeah. So, but I want to just read this real quick. It says, although one facet of commitment may sound better or more virtuous than another, our relationships benefit from having all 3. The active presence of multiple facets or layers of commitment makes one's marital resolve stronger
You said it.
than if only one facet were present. Consider the word of Ecclesiastes 4:12 in this light. The threefold cord is not easily broken.
It's not easily broken.
So it's just
we
it's
need it.
confirmation
We need it.
of what you guys said. So here's what. So I'm gonna kind of tighten this up on this last part right here, and then we're gonna just go into the JM2C.
Okay.
Okay. But this one right here, this I just really want you guys' thoughts on this. Audience, I really want you guys' thoughts on this one, right here on this statement. Is this a true statement? I believe it is. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right now. Commitment means making a choice to give up other choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree because you have to choose, right, and decide. Okay, what do you want, and what's it brings me back to, hey, all things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. So I want to be single. I want to act a fool. I want to be at the club as 63. You know, but
You wanted to be the club at 63?
No,
I believe that.
I'm just saying. But who is that benefiting? That's me and my flesh rather than God. Which remember you said, hey, if I'm focusing on Him, it's not benefiting you. It's not benefiting the kids. So I got to choose. Okay, no, that's not the best for me. This commitment is. So I got to commit to this rather than committing to the club and the drugs and all that stuff. So, yeah, I believe so.
Okay. So it also says, so you're saying choose this.
Yeah, you can't have both. You can't.
Choose,
but this is a beautiful thing. And you wouldn't know it until you work it and get into it and train in it. And a lot of folks, they decide, no, I'm done with this training. I'm not coming back to this gym. I'm out, you know, and not realizing through the blessings of businesses, of material stuff, of intangibles, they don't get to reap that.
So I did a lot of research on the commitment, and I mean it's just so much. It's a lot. But I wanted
Beautiful
to
topic.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about sliding in 15 minutes. I want to talk about. Thank you. I want to talk about sliding and deciding.
Okay.
A lot of women, a lot of people in marriage, we slide into decision like you know we just you know it just kind of flows. We slide into things without making a decision, making a real decision. This is how things are going to go. Set boundaries. We kind of slide into it. Right. And versus making a straight decision that this is how we're going to rock, this is how we're going to roll. I'm committed to, you know, making this decision. Since deciding is very different from sliding. The word decide means to, the word decide comes from a root word meaning to cut. You cannot make a commitment without deciding to cut off other options that compete against what is most important. I thought that was like really, really profound. So you cannot make a commitment in your marriage without deciding to cut off other options. So what you're saying is, I'm cutting off all other options that would compete against us having a successful marriage. Right. I'm cutting off a single lady, single friends. But single friends are going to the club and hanging out or whatever. Or I'm cutting off men that may be, you know, trying to, you know, get my number or whatever, you know, that might be detrimental to my marriage or whatever. I'm cutting all of that off.
Anything that's against the marriage.
Anything that's against that, or anything that can compete against my marriage. Then yeah, I have to cut that off. So I thought that's a decision. So I think, or deciding. So versus just we just kind of slide into things. You know, we just slid into versus deciding. Right. So I thought that was something. Yeah. What do you agree?
Yeah. B?
You know, it's crazy that the 54-year-old Brian see things way different than the 25-year-old.
It's called maturity.
And when I'm talking to my son about something, I'm speaking with a 54, with the 54-year-old Brian. I just had a young man who said I'm gonna spend the night over my mother's house. I said, you need to make sure you go home tonight. That's vitally important. Even if you're arguing, if you're mad, just go home just to sleep. Don't stay over your mother's house. Because you're going to start something to make her start something, to make you start, and it's going to keep going. And that's just the 54-year-old Brian, where
25-year-old Brian, like,
you can stay here, dog. You can stay here, man.
Couch is open,
stay up all night.
That's the mountain out of a molehill scenario. It starts with one small thing, and then before you know it, my goodness.
You forget what you was arguing
Forget what you was arguing about, and the gap
is already there.
Big enough to put some other people in it. So then before you know it.
You've already put other people in it. And
I'm not talking about your mama, though. Yeah.
Let me give you guys this thing really quick. I always talk about, we try to give you tips and everything. So real quick, I want to run through these tips, and then we're going to go into the JM2C. So what causes a lack of commitment in marriage? So there's a couple things that we want you guys to not do that will cause a lack. That, you know, if you're doing these things, stop doing it, because it's going to cause a lack of commitment in your marriage. first one mean lack of intimacy.
That's right.
That you have to be intimate with your spouse.
Again, don't unlock those safety locks.
Yes.
That's another one. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard it said, what you won't do, somebody else will. So make sure
Real
that
talk.
that's an area that,
Here's another one. The lack of romantic connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be romantic. You got to go back on those dates. Remember what it was when you first got married. You
Get away to
have
the beach.
Yeah, you have to
Pack a picnic
You have
basket.
to maintain and cultivate that romantic connection with your spouse. Have to.
and sometimes when you didn't have that romantic connection when you first got married. So when you say go back to when you first got married, some of y'all don't go back to that.
Yeah,
You create some new stuff.
Do it now.
Yeah, do it now.
I receive
Yeah,
it.
because not everybody has that.
Here's another big one: poor communication. You gotta communicate, even if even if we don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
Even if we don't see eye to eye, we have to communicate our feelings. If it,
Again, a lot, because without communication, everything starts to break down
right.
if no one's talking.
go ahead.
And make sure you're talking to your spouse. I mean,
Yes.
I
Not
have,
Adam?
I have Kay as a confidant that I can go in and pour things into and bounce stuff off of, but no way should she be hearing things that he doesn't hear.
I receive that.
Because she can't fix what only he can.
Right.
So she may say, this is how you need to address it. Don't say it like that. Fix your face, Pearl.
Yeah.
It's code.
But I
Love you,
need
Mama
to
Pearl.
give it to him
Yeah.
because she can't fix what the problem is. So
And
it's
he
important.
should know. He should know before the girls do.
Yeah.
Hey, here's my concern.
Yes.
Yes.
It's vitally important that we have somebody to talk to, and that's not talk to Coop about something before I talk to my wife about, unless it's a birthday party or something.
Right.
But we should be in communication,
That's
and then maybe at some point you need that confidant or someone that could possibly check me, because maybe I don't see I'm wrong at something.
Right.
Maybe I think everything is good.
That's right.
Okay. So you need that person that will tell you that
Pull your coattail.
yeah.
Yeah. Everyone needs one of those.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
Confidant. Real quick, sprint. I have to give you the good with the bad. Okay.
Okay.
So we will just JM2C will do that real quick. But look, strengthening your level of commitment. Here's a few tips. Pray.
Yeah.
Number one, pray.
Always.
I know that's
Good one.
cliche, but definitely
Come
pray.
on, man.
Say it with your actions.
Yeah. Don't just talk about it. Be about
I
it.
think that self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Say it with your actions. Number three, say it with your words.
Yeah.
Say,
Verbally.
I'm committed.
Literally.
I'm committed to you. I'm not going anywhere.
I thought you
know
knew
me.
that already.
Amen. Say it again.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, I love you.
So, okay,
Yeah.
set goals. Set goals of, babe, you know what, this time, next year, we're going to,
Yeah. Let's have that amount in bank.
Yes.
Let's be able to get you this gift. Yeah.
yes.
I received that. Yeah.
Okay. Go public. Like renewing your wedding vows. You guys renewed your, you guys had their celebration of 25. You know, that was 5 years ago already. Yeah, well, really, about to be 6 in a minute.
Almost 6, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go.
So go, yeah. So those are some quick tips into strengthening your commitment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy my wife a new wedding ring.
Lovely.
Are you?
So you looking at him?
I mean, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's right.
That's nice. I would love that too.
Oh boy,
No, you got to get to 30.
Right.
31.
Right.
69.
Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed these tips. I hope you guys use these tips. We will
Yeah, real
definitely
talk.
have them on the screen for you guys to jot them down and try to apply these things that we've talked about being committed.
That's
so
right.
you need to ask yourself, how committed am I? Am I committed? And what does that look like for you and your spouse?
And can I say,
Yeah, come on.
sorry.
Sure, go ahead now.
Don't base your commitment level on their commitment level. You be committed. You do the right thing, even when they're not. And just pray that you guys meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Because remember, you have to answer to God.
That's
So
good.
don't go acting a fool
Right.
because he a fool.
That's right.
So
Real talk.
yeah, acting.
Don't go
Yeah.
acting.
So be committed in your marriage because God forbid if anything happens, you want to be able to leave things saying, "I did all I could."
Amen.
right.
So-
Amen. Yes.
Yeah,
So
side of the street.
bring your best self always, no matter what the other person.
Amen.
You got something?
Amen.
You good?
No, I'm good.
That was good right there. Hey, if you rock these safety locks and you make sure they clean and they oiled, hey, your marriage will grow. It'll get stronger. If you take off these safety locks, your commitment is going to crash, and so will the marriage. And we don't want to see that. We want to see you 69 years.
So silly.
69 years. Okay, so what's under the hood was it? This is a question that we're gonna just put up there on the screen for you guys, and you guys can ponder this in your. Thank you for the time check for your at your leisure. And it was, why are you committed to your spouse and marriage? Has there ever been a time where you wanted to leave your marriage?
Yeah. And
that's what's under the hood. That's something for you and your spouse to talk
about.
in your own time. That's what's under the hood. Remember, what's under the hood are those things that we really don't talk about. Those things that
we don't want to fix.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, that's what's under the hood. So that was a question for what's under the hood. B.
Yeah, you don't want to bring up the negativity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So have that conversation. It's conversations like that will strengthen the marriage and strengthen your commitment.
Amen.
That's
so again, that is, why are you committed to your spouse in marriage? Has there ever been a time where you wanted to leave your marriage? Okay, so real quick, the JM2C, just my 2 cents is, I'll read it for you really fast, and we'll just get everybody to take it real quick, and then we'll be up out of here, okay? Okay, hello, my name is William Earl. And I am a 40-year-old married man with 2 children. My wife and I have been married for 15 years. When we were first married, we enjoyed each other's company. We did everything together. When you saw one, you saw the other. We shared everything. There was nothing we could not tell each other. We listened to each other. I'm sorry, excuse me. We finished each other's sentences. In 2015, I found out that my wife was involved with another man. Involved is in quotation marks. She says she met him at work, and they began talking and found that they had many things in common. She shared that she has not been unfaithful to me yet, but she is very much attracted to this man. Of course, hearing this, I was devastated. I was completely taken off guard and did not know what to do. I asked her what she wanted to do, and she stated she did not know either. She stated that she did not want to break up her family and disappoint God by leaving our marriage. After much discussion and arguments, my wife and I recently began seeing a marriage counselor through her job. During our first session, my wife told the counselor that she only agreed to come to the session because the commitment she made on her wedding day. She explained that she still loved me, but she was no longer in love with me. She stated that in her heart of hearts, she left emotionally, but is still here physically. She explained that a part of her wants to save the marriage, but a part of her wants a fresh new start. I don't know what to think or feel. I love my wife and do not want my family to be destroyed. I'm willing to do whatever to save my marriage, but I don't know what to do. Please help.
That's good. That's good.
So you guys go ahead and take that.
First of all, I love that the brother said whatever, because whatever is going to mean just that, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think one is it's going to come down to having some type of communication, start building that back up. Hey, what would you like to see? What do I need to do to get you back here? And it's got a lot of things in it that we just discussed. She has a structural lock still on, but the other locks, she has the I ought to lock, the moral lock, but the other lock, the I want to lock is not personal. There. Yeah, the personal. So now it's about that brother saying, okay, let me start working on that personal lock to get back. What would you like to see me do, babe? And then honestly, start doing those things. And I love that they're going to counseling. A lot of times when we went to counseling, I'd already checked out before we walked in the door, but it still was throwing seeds. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So still get the help. Somebody needs to be the happy mediator in there to get that gap that Willow was talking about back together.
That's good. What do you think?
I think about what it makes me think about is the marriage tune-up, because the car could have stopped rolling. You can't just start fixing the tire when it's actually the engine that's wrong. Right. So you gotta figure out where was the breakdown.
Right.
Because you gotta know where to fix it.
Right.
You gotta know where the hurt is.
Right.
And not that he's done anything, but you gotta fix the pain that's someplace. Right. So don't start buying her stuff, and that's not even what she wants. there was a lack somewhere.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You gotta figure out where that lack was.
That's your 2 cents?
Absolutely.
That's a good 2 cents.
Like
That's a good 2 cents.
And there was definitely there's something else going on there that they're not communicating. They have some problems in the marriage, and they're not discussing them. It's something else there, and she needs to find a new job.
I received that.
Start there. Right?
Yeah,
only
I received that.
problems are coming, but she's basically checked out.
Right.
So, I haven't yet.
Right.
So I wonder how their marital relationship is.
So know that it's not the job, even though right now the issue is on the job, because if it's not him, it's going to be somebody else, because there's a lack there somewhere.
So we need to find it.
Right.
And maybe he's not listening to whatever that is that caused it. And not to say that it's his fault.
Right. All his fault. It's nothing. Nothing is no one's.
Always take two
in
to
a
tango.
marriage, it's not just one person's
It takes
fault.
two.
It always takes two.
But it can be painful at times to hear someone say, we're best friends, we tell each other everything, and then the other person like, girl, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So how could...
But I'm gone.
Hence the commitment. Okay, I need to up my level, and she needs to up her level, and now the rubber has really hit the road. What are we gonna do? And it's got to be, look, let's fix this, because of so many things at stake, and nobody wants to start over, and I don't want to disappoint God. All of that's in there. So now let's focus on that rather than this other stuff that's competing with the marriage. So that would be my thought.
Here's the part that I got stuck on. Here's my an excellent two cents from all three of you guys. The part that I was stuck on was where it says where she said. Where he said, she said that she still loved me, but she was no longer in love with me. That I always get stuck on that, because you believe that you could love a person, but you could not be in love with your spouse.
Yeah, I think in our early years, dude,
there
was commitment to stay here, but there was a commitment of 100% of love, because we were fighting, arguing, kicking cats out, things like that. Real cats, those type of things. So real talk, Smokey gone, man. That type of thing. So I think as time went on, we realized, I gotta fix some things in me, so that it can fix some things with us. And it wasn't until then that we were there. Come on, you didn't love me all the time. I didn't love you all the time. But if you hold and make it through that, and this was a tough thing, but think about the testimony they could have.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Of how they made it through, and it would have nobody to thank but God.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and give her kudos for the fact that she went to the counseling.
Yeah.
Just like back in the day that you went to the counseling or whatever.
Because there used to be I ain't going to see nobody, and I ain't talking to nobody, and I don't want nobody in my mess, and don't nobody bring nothing to my house, and no nothing leave my house. So the mess just stayed and just grew into a big mossy mold of just gangrene mess, right?
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Lord, for cleaning it up.
Yeah. So my 2 cents would be that I'm very I'm definitely gonna pray for this couple. Definitely pray for this couple. My heart goes out to the husband. It sounds like he would do whatever, but like you said, I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said. Look here, right here. And so, but like you said, whatever, you got to figure out what that whatever is. But like jumping off what you said, you have to figure out where the lack is. Where did we go wrong? And you have to tune it up.
Tune it up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We good?
That's it.
All right.
It. That's good. That's it. So we want to thank our sponsors, right?
Yeah. Good looking Tune Up Nation for tuning in. Hey, again, I want you to like this, to share this, subscribe to this. Go to YouTube. So The Marriage Tune hyphen up. I'm gonna say it again. The Marriage Tune hyphen up. And let's get things popping for your marriage, man. We want to see you at 20, 30 years, 40, 50 years, 69 years. Right? And to our sponsors, hey, we love y'all. Hey, we're going to roll the credits as we get out of here, and you're going to see them all. Big ups to y'all. Peace. God bless you. God keep you. Shine his face upon you. Let's go.
Woke up, still smiling, sun shining, feel fine. And yo, it's one person I got to thank. And no, it ain't your mama or your Uncle Hank. It's Jesus, the one that'll get you going. Keep you flowing high, you already knowing. He'll lift you up, pick you up, get you up. He'll set you up in a life with less strife. That's just right, with pure love and more light. As long as you living, mother, he got you. And now that you free, what's the plan for you? You better get him, let him, live him, kiss him, miss him, bug him, hug him, love him. And please stop talking this, that, and third. And just focus on God in his word. Cause I'm lit, I'm free, the light I see. Switch it up, I'm lit.